Hey everyone. I know I haven't posted anything on this in a while, but today is I don't care what it looks like, fuck it. Um, Today is the 1 year anniversary of my accident. And it has been quite a year indeed. Pretty much I'm just gonna put it all out there. Um, so, August 23rd, 2019. I was sent to do a job by my former employer. Um, when I had informed them that I was not capable of doing the job because I was never provided the proper training to do said job, I was essentially just told to suck it up and go do it anyway, and otherwise face, you know, disciplinary actions, which I was already written up for a Facebook post beforehand, so who knows what the disciplinary action could have been then. So, so I go to the job site and I inform Mr. Customer that I never done that job before. I don't know the first thing about the truck that I'm working on. So I know the promised time for the job, but I apologized if I went over in time and all. And the customer was, at first, he was like, "Oh yeah, sure, no problem. Just get it done. Just this and the other. Don't worry about it." So I was like, "All right." So I'm doing the job and all, and I run into a issue. Um, so I call my boss, and he goes, "Okay, well, we'll send another tech over to help you." So they send a senior tech over. This guy's got 10 plus years experience to my little over 1 year experience of checking in forklifts and wiping them down. I didn't really do much mechanic work when I was supposed to be training, but they had me checking in forklifts that came in off of trucks and whatnot. And for those of you who are confused, I may say truck, but I really mean the forklift. It's just something, well, whatever. Just don't get confused. I'll try to keep it as less confusing as possible. So anyway, the other tech gets on the job site and he looks at what I'm doing and he says I have the forklift up wrong. I have it he said I'm doing it wrong because he said the way to do that job is I need to take another forklift and pick this forklift up. That way I can get a good swing underneath with a hammer under the spline axle, which I also learned you're not supposed to smack splined axles through with a hammer. So, um, so yeah, he's on one side holding the tire up, and I'm on the side of the truck of the forklift. The forklift's about 4.5, 5 feet in the air at this point. Um, and next thing I know, he's yelling, "Look out!" And I black out. And when I come to, there's the forklift is laying on top of me. Now, it had me kind of like pinched between the forklift and a shelf that was right next to me, and the forklift was a stock picker, so it's got this really tall mast, and the mast, probably about that much of it, caught on the top of the shelf, which I'm surprised it didn't take the whole shelf down on top of me as well. But had that little bit not caught, then literally all 9,000 pounds would have came down onto me, and I probably wouldn't be here making this video today. Yeah. So I come to, and I got the forklift laying on me. It's got this arm, my right arm, trapped down underneath the forklift. It's got I could feel it, the corner of the bottom of the forklift resting across my right knee, sideways. Um, and then I'm kind of stuck on my left knee down with my left shoulder pushed up against part of the shelf. Um, at this point, you know, it felt like my chest was starting to get tight because I had the forklift bearing down on me. I was essentially just being crushed, being squeezed. Um, had all types of fluids leaking on me from the truck, from me. I'm not even gonna lie, I pissed myself. I'm gonna throw that out there. I'm a grown ass man and I pissed myself, but for a good reason. Um, so I'm laying under the forklift, and the senior tech who came out to help me, he's running around screaming and crying, uh, freaking out. And the fucked up part is, I'm the one telling him it'll be okay. I have the forklift on me. He's crying like a baby. He's 50 something year old man crying like a little fucking baby because he thinks he killed me. And I can't fucking get him to calm down to call 911. So all the other employees of the company I was at, working on their forklift, uh, the customer's company essentially, they all, of course, they ran because they heard a loud bang and someone screaming. One gentleman, he sat with me, and so before I go further, I'm just gonna say I am on the fence when it comes to certain religions and whatnot. So let's just clear the air right there. So this gentleman comes and sits next to me, and this is my favorite part of the story to tell, just because it shows that no matter what, I still have a sense of humor. He looks at me, and goes, young man, do you believe that in your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? And I had the audacity, forklift on me and everything, to look this man dead in his eye and be like, I'll be honest with you, I don't. But at this point, I'm asking help from anybody that'll get this damn truck off of me. Truck being the forklift. So he goes, okay, even though you don't believe, I'm gonna sit here and pray with you till police and all that other stuff gets here. So that man sat with me and all. At this point, I feel my phone going off in my pocket, but it's under me, it's in my pocket, which is under the forklift. So I'm probably sitting under that forklift for a good 30 minutes before the first responders get there. And initially, the first responder wanted to use the same forklift that we used to pick the one that was on me up. He wanted to try to use that one to get the other one off of me. And I told him no. I told him keep that thing the fuck away from me, because I didn't want him to chance scooping it up and then that top sliding off of the shelf and then just, yeah. So then I was sitting there for about another 15 minutes waiting for the fire department to get there. And then the fire department finally got there. And they used airbags, which is a pretty cool thing to experience. So they slid all the airbags next to me, and then they inflated them, and obviously the truck kind of picked up off of me. And as soon as I was clear, they pulled me out. But it was crazy because so these forklifts have huge batteries. Batteries are part of the reason why these trucks weigh a couple thousand pounds as well. And on this particular stock picker, the battery door is on the side of it. Well, all stock pickers, the battery doors are on the side. But this battery door wasn't. Part of it was broken, so it was hanging out a bit. So part of it from it resting on me had dug into my arm right here. So as they're pulling me out from under as the forklift is being lifted off of me by the airbags, that part starts peeling at my arm, and I start freaking out. And that's just a little extra thing that happened. Obviously it was fine. I still have my arm and whatnot. I can't stop fidgeting. So yeah, that was another little thing. But then it was weird because like as soon as they got the forklift off, I mean all the fluids on the ground. When they pulled me, I tried to kick with my left leg, because that's what like I had. That was good, and my foot was just slipping because the all the fluids on the ground, the transmission fluid, hydraulic fluid, possible battery acid, my piss. Yeah, all those fluids on the ground and on. So they just had to pull me out. They just had to fucking yeet me out of that thing. So they pull me out, and the very first thing I noticed was all the blood rush down from my knee to the rest of my leg. So once they pulled me out, I had thought that I pissed on myself again. And then they were explaining to me, no, that's just the blood going back to your leg. I was like, okay, cool. And then the only thing I wanted to do was try to get up and walk. Sorry, I have nieces and nephews and everything here. So yeah, the only thing I wanted to try to do was walk, and they wouldn't let me. So they get me on the ambulance and all. I mean, yeah, they get me on the ambulance, and I call my dad because he was the one that was calling me when I had the forklift on me, because I was texting him throughout the day, telling him how uncomfortable and how much help I needed with this job, and he was kind of walking me through it through texts. But yeah, so I see he called me, he texted me, he's blowing my phone up asking if I'm okay, because he had just gotten the news. So I call him back and on. I tell him, hey, I'm alive. I don't know what's wrong though. I'm going to shock trauma. So as soon as I get off the phone with him, my mom calls me actually, and I catch her call as I'm hanging up with Dad. She calls me. She's freaking out. I tell her I'm alive. Don't know what's wrong. Going to shock trauma. Explain to her what happened. This, that, and the other. So I get to shock trauma, and they want to run all these tests, all these different scans, all these MRIs, X-ray, anything they could think of, they want to run. And at this point, I'm just trying to wrap my head around the fact that I'm still alive at this point. So I'm just going fine. I'm like, yeah, cool. Whatever you need to do, just let me think. So I finish up in shock trauma. Nothing shows. They don't do any MRIs. They do X-rays. The only thing that showed on the X-ray was my L4 and L5 on my spine had shifted a small bit. Excuse me. But yeah, my L4 and my L5 shifted a small bit to the left. And then obviously all the bruising from the forklift. I had bruising going all up my right side here and my left side. But yeah, and I knew this video was going to be hard to make. Just thinking about it and all. Just again, just wrap my head around the fact that I'm still here from it. So fun fact though. My dad, he was actually crushed by a forklift a while ago. I was still in high school. I think I was 10th grade. But yeah, so anyone I tell this story to, and I tell them the fact, yeah, my dad was also crushed a while ago. They're like, yeah, not the family tradition. You want to keep going. But where was I? Shock trauma. So shock trauma releases me from work. Releases me from the facility. They pretty much just say, hey, yeah, you're gonna be hurting for about a week or two or a while or whatever the case may be. You're gonna be hurting for a bit. Take some pain meds, rest, typical shit. So then I'm just worried about trying to figure out how to fill my time card for that Friday. Um, so Dad told me that because my dad worked for the same company that I was working at the time. So then he told me that one of the office ladies said, "Don't worry about it. I have 8 hours for the day." I was like, "Cool. I only needed 2 to fill my 40, but I'll take 8." um, so then Saturday, Sunday comes. Bed rest. Can't move. Can't get out of bed. Can't walk. It fucking hurts. Everything hurts. Everything hurts, and everything sucks. Um, I'm sore as all hell. Hurting. Can still barely get out of bed. So this would be the 27th of August. Because, or no, 23rd was that Friday. 24th, 26th of August. So this would be 26th of August, 2019, Monday morning. I tell Pops, hey, when you go into work, can you just tell them I'll be in sometime today to fill out all the paperwork that I need to fill out? Because, in on-job accident, you need to fill out incident reports and this, that, and the other. So I get a call from him about 8 a.m. And he's like, hey, I talked to HR and they said that they don't need you in for paperwork or anything today. I was like, okay. Then I'm just going to stay home and stay in bed because I can't get out of bed. I mean, I was going to use everything I had to go to work that day just to do paperwork and then go leave. So I was like, okay, that's weird, but cool. And then Monday afternoon, my dad gets home from work and, obviously, yes, I'm doing this, that, and the other. And then he tells me I'm not getting paid for Monday because I don't have any more PTO. And it kind of set me off a bit. I was kind of pissed off at that. So I pretty much go, all right, fuck it. Guess I'm going into work tomorrow, which would be the following Tuesday after my accident, which would be the 27th of August. So August 27th, I wake up, sore as all hell, can barely get out of bed. Can't even put on my proper uniform because everything hurts to move any certain fucking way. I mean, just the weekend before, I had a forklift laying on top of me, 9,000 pounds. Now that I'm talking about the former company, I might get a little bit angry and hostile about it, just because the whole situation just still pisses me off to this day. I no longer work with the company, good riddance, but I'll get to that portion later. This is going to be a long video if you guys have the time. I'm sorry. I just want to get it all out there. So Tuesday I go into work, and one of our rental check ladies come out, and she sees me, and she's like, what the hell are you even doing here? And I explain the situation. I'm like, well, I don't have PTO. And they didn't find anything severely wrong with me to, not have me work. I just thought the company would have been decent and be like, oh yeah, take a couple days or a week off, on us. I thought the company would be somewhat decent. They were always bragging about how family oriented they were. They only cared about family when you were putting money in their pockets. So I can barely work. I go in to talk to my boss and explain to him, just be like, look, man, I could barely get out of bed this morning. I'm in so much pain. I can't do it. I'm literally no asset to this company at this moment. I can do nothing that provides any progress forward on any jobs or any such thing. I can't drive. I damn sure can't go to another customer and work because I'll be moving too damn slow, and then they'll get mad and they'll call you and you'll hurt this, that, and the other. But then he goes, actually, hold on, he needed to get his boss to come talk to me as well. So I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So I'm sitting in the office, both of the bosses come in, And, they explained to me, they care about safety first and this, that, and the other and this. And, they're like, shock trauma released you to full duty. They didn't find any injuries or anything, like internal injuries that'll prevent you from working. All it says is just a lot of soreness and bruising. So, because I was released to full duty from shock trauma, I was facing a 1 week suspension without pay for violating safety hazards. And I kind of asked them what. I didn't ask them. I said, "What the fuck are you talking about? Violating safety hazards?" And they're like, "You lifted a forklift with another forklift. You know that's a no-go." I said, "No. The tech that you had sent out to help me lifted the forklift with another forklift, and I have all the photos and all the evidence that when I was doing that job, I had the forklift lifted up and lowered onto wooden blocks like we were supposed to. That is day one. That is the first thing they teach you about forklifts, is how to properly jack the lift up and make it safe for you to work under the thing." So I was like, no, I have all the evidence in the world that I was doing it safe until the senior tech got on the job site. And they said, "Well, you're your own person. You could have saw what he was doing, and you could have called somebody and said something. You could have told him that you weren't comfortable with it." And I was like, I told him I wasn't comfortable with it. But then he said the weight capacity that this forklift can hold is well above the weight of the forklift that we were working on. And like I said, 10 plus years experience to my year of wiping down and touching up paint on forklifts. I mean, what the fuck am I supposed to know, So, vertically, the forks could hold it. It was when he took the forks up and then he tilted the load back that the tilt cylinders couldn't hold the load. So the moment gravity could take it, it was gone. And I explained to him he's the one that put me in the unsafe condition. Like, well, he's facing a 1 week suspension as well. And so I said, okay, well, what if I get a doctor's note excluding me from work? They're like, okay, well, then we'll figure out your suspension once you're cleared, but you have to have a doctor's note saying that you can't work. So I went out to my dad, to his toolbox, and he could tell I was pissed, and he said, "What happened?" And I said, well, I just talked to Tweedledee and Tweedledum. I didn't call them that. I'm just whatever. But yeah, I just talked to them, and they want to suspend me for a week for being unsafe. So he flips out, and he goes in there and he starts screaming at them. And it is at this point they tell him he can't have anything to do with this accident because I'm not his son at that company. I am a coworker. Which, from a business thing, I understand but at this point you're treating the man's son like shit. So you can kind of expect him to be pissed off about it a little bit. So he was my ride, and I told him I had to go get a doctor's note. So he said, "Good, fuck this place." And he pretty much told the boss, "Fuck you guys, I'm taking my son to the doctor's to get a doctor's note because this is ridiculous." So we go to my doctor. I explained to the doctor what happened. Doctor said, "Why did shock trauma release you at all to full duty?" He's like, "Even they should have given you off at least a week for what happened, So I get the doctor's note to get off of work for that week. So I bring it in. I bring it back to work, and I give it to them. And they're like, "Okay, well, once this note is no longer valid, you'll still have the week suspension." Because at that point I was getting paid for the week now because workers' comp was a one-job accident. Then something told me really early to get an attorney. So I did. I got an attorney like 2 days later after I had that incident at work with the management where they wanted to suspend me. And he said, well, unfortunately, we can't do anything about suspension, about the company. What we can do is get you hooked up correctly through workers' comp and all. So he did that. First thing he wanted to do was send me to a doctor that he works with. Okay, I lied. I needed to get the attorney because workers' comp wasn't wanting to pay my doctor for evaluating me and giving me the time off of work for that week. So then I had to get the attorney. Sorry. So my attorney, he sends me to his doctors that will see me. They recommend, chiropractic and physical therapy. But they also give me another doctor's note for, I believe that was like 3 weeks. So while I'm still doing physical therapy and all and this, that, and the other, I get the initial OSHA report in the mail. And on the report, it says Jonathan Radcliffe was operating a forklift when he crashed into a shelf and something fell and hit his leg. I'll give y'all time to let that one sit. I was driving a forklift. I crashed into a shelf. And something hit my leg. And HR signed off on that. So now I call my attorney. I'm like, hey, this is fucked up. This isn't at all what happened. So he contacts workers' comp. Workers' comp contacts OSHA. OSHA then contacts me. And an OSHA agent wants to have a sit-down one-on-one interview with me. This was before all of the COVID happened in America. This was still 2019. So I agreed to meet the OSHA rep at a Starbucks. Mutual location, this, that, and the other. So I get to the Starbucks. I wait for her to get there. She gets there. And I pretty much explained to her from the start of the day until I got sent home by shock trauma. The story you guys have already heard. I'm not going to tell it again. So she goes, yeah, this is nothing compared to what we have on file. So she had me sign off stating that, yes, that is what happened, this, that, and the other. And then it prompted, of course, because OSHA got involved, it prompted an investigation regardless. But then it prompted a full-on fucking detective-style investigation where they went to the company, the customer that I was at, asked for stories there, got the first responders report, and all this stuff that said, yeah, his story checks out. The company's story didn't. So, then I get all the OSHA stuff finally resolved. Meanwhile, I have the HR rep at my previous company, at my former employer. I have the HR rep calling me, pretty much just treating me very awfully. And camera's about to die, so I need to plug it in. You guys like my fish background? So yeah. HR rep starts treating me very badly. Through the phone calls. And then so I figured, okay, well, I don't want to talk to her on the phone anymore because they told me if there's anything I need at all to call them. Anytime I called them, they didn't answer. HR, the boss who wanted to suspend me, she even said, she gave me her personal cell phone number. She said she was like, we understand what happened and we are very sorry that it happened and it's unfortunate and all. If you need anything at all, call me, You can always reach me, this, that, all that spiel. Anytime I called them, they didn't answer. Not one of them. When I missed one phone call, I was uncooperative. I wasn't willing to talk. I was, pretty much just everything under the sun that could be negative about me was what it is was the reason why I wasn't answering the phone. When in all reality, I was probably sleeping because I was on pain pills, or because I was on muscle relaxers, trying to get a shower because that became a task, um, or I just didn't hear my phone ring. You know, but they wouldn't leave voicemails. They would just you know, the next time I'll talk to them, they would say I need to be more I need to work on my communication better and this and that. I need to answer them when they call and this and that. So I got the bright idea. Okay, I'm gonna start emailing. That way I can have records of when I do talk to them and when they don't answer me. So, a couple months in, workers' comp wants to send me to their doctor for an evaluation. So, I go to the workers' comp doctor. He writes me off. He goes, "Yeah, you're hurt. Okay, we believe you. You're injured." So, like, cool. Someone believes me. So, also, before all of that, I had gotten an MRI on my knee, on my right knee, which is where the forklift was laying on. And they found a small tear in my patellar tendon, and they said I will have that and tendonitis to deal with. And a patellar tendon tear can not only be caused by like a sports injury, it can be caused by a sudden impact to that area. You know, a lot of weight coming down on that area. A forklift, a 9,000 pound forklift, coming down onto my knee. So, I had that going for me. So, the doctors that I was seeing just kept pushing me through physical therapy, physical therapy, physical therapy, physical therapy. And every time I'd get my reevaluation with them, they'd ask, "Is it working?" I would say, "No, I'm in a lot more pain beforehand or afterwards, and that pain's just progressing." Okay, well, we'll keep doing physical therapy. So, then cut to about November, early November, mid-November. Workers' comp doctor wants to evaluate me again because he feels I have been, or workers' comp want me to get evaluated again by their doctor because they feel I've been out of work too long. So, I go see their doctor. Worse shape than I was before. I see their doctor. Their doctor writes me off perfectly fine. He said, "Yeah, he's good. He can go back to work." So, I get... Sorry. It's... I knew today was going to be tough. I'm not editing this at all. Like, you guys are getting everything. You're going to hear the kids crying upstairs. You're going to hear my dad coming up and down steps doing laundry. You might hear the laundry going right now. You might hear but whatever. But yeah, so I get released by the doctor that gets paid to release people off workers' comp. So then HR calls me and says, "Okay, well, you still have your 1 week suspension to face." Well, the day that I was supposed to return to work, unfortunately, we had lost my grandfather. Yeah, so I emailed work and I called work and I was like, "Hey, this happened. Can I just start next week because it was Friday, this, that, and the other." So we had, I had that suspension, and my suspension would let up on Thanksgiving. But because there was no work the day of Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving, my suspension ran past that 2 days. So I didn't end up going back to work until like December 11th, I believe, of 2019. And when I get there, I'm immediately, I met with open arms by coworkers and whatnot, other mechanics who were glad to see that I'm around still. Some of the office ladies that were really cool and really nice, and just a lot of other workers there that I considered friends. They weren't just coworkers; they were friends. I get met by. So at this point, I'm in our lunchroom because I have to wait for HR to get there to tell me what to do for the day, because she's supposed to provide me with 8 hours of work if they had it. I was released to full duty, or I was released to partial duty, but the company had to provide me with a full day's work. If they couldn't, then I wouldn't have to go in. So, I'm sitting in the cafeteria waiting for HR to show up. One of the senior techs in the shop, he found out I was there, so he come in. He's sitting there talking to me. He's the one who told my dad about the accident and all. He's a good family friend. Real old dude. Cool dude, though. Like he's still got it. He's talking to me and all, and then HR shows up, and she just... I'm not even gonna front. I told you I'm gonna be hostile. She's a bitch. She's trigger warning for someone who doesn't like. She's a cunt. That's it. She's a. This is not. She's just not a nice person. So, damn, almost 38 minutes. Told y'all this is gonna be a long one. So she goes, "Hello, Mr. Radcliffe." Not even a good morning, not a how are you doing, not a how are you feeling, just good morning, Mr. Radcliffe. And I was like, "What's up?" And I said her name because, I'm not going to say her name here because I don't want anyone to know who I'm talking about. That way nothing can be tied to me for me running their name through the dirt like they did mine. So, she says, "You're supposed to be in safety watching safety training videos today." Okay, cool. Just an FYI, my spine's still shifted, so if I sit for a while, my back hurts. And when my back hurts, the only way to alleviate the pain is to either stand up, and if I'm standing too long, my knee starts to hurt. And so really the only way to alleviate pain is for me to lay completely flat down. I was like, I understand that's not the circumstance here, but just know I will not be able to sit through that whole video. There will be times when I have to get up and walk around because my back is hurting. And then when my knee starts hurting from walking around, then I'll be able to sit back down. But I will still be paying attention to the video. Regardless. So, I get into the safety training video, or the safety training office. And I'm watching the video. And I got my little safety written test that we have to do. I'm filling it all out before the video even gets to the parts because, I'm a safe worker. I know what I'm supposed to do safely. So I get done the test, and of course I'm up and out of my chair and all, and excuse me. I don't believe Dad was in work that day, so he's texting me asking me how I'm feeling. I got Mom checking on me, texting me how I'm feeling. I got my brother texting. I got millions of people who know that I'm working that day just checking up on me because, I'm still injured, but I have to go back to work. So these people checking up on me, and it's family, so of course I'm going to answer family. I'm family first. Fuck a job. If it's family or work, I'm picking family. So I finished the safety video and all, and then at this point, we move on to the driving portion where we have to safely operate forklifts. So I go out into the shop, and I'm waiting, and HR comes out, and she goes, "What are you doing in the shop?" Well, we're about to do the safety portion of the driving of the safety portion of the safety training. "Oh, well, you can't be in the shop because we have to write off that you passed all your safety." I'm like, well, how can I be driving a forklift to pass my safety if I'm not allowed where we drive the forklifts. Makes sense, right? And then the boss that came up that wanted that suspended me, she shows up. She goes, "Mr. Radcliffe, you're not allowed in the shop until we see that you're fit to be in the shop." How am I supposed to pass these safety tests if I'm not allowed in the place where we do the safety tests? So I was like, okay, well, what else do you have for me today? Because it's only noon, and I need 4 more hours to fill out an 8-hour shift. HR looks at me and she goes, "Well, you were supposed to get me your doctor's schedule for your physical therapies and all." And I was like, "Well, if you'd read the email, you would know that I don't get my physical therapy schedule until I see the doctor, which I will be seeing tomorrow. So I'll see him tomorrow. He'll give me more physical therapy. I'll schedule it. Then I'll give you my physical therapy schedule when I have it." Makes sense to you people, right? Didn't make sense to her. So, damn, this is going to be a long video. I apologize, but if you got the time, I appreciate you listening. So, they send me home that day. Half a day. They couldn't provide me with a full 8 hours, and they blamed me for it. So, I see the doctor the next morning. I told the doctor, "Look, man, I tried to work. I tried to do stuff. I still can barely get out of bed in the morning. Everything still hurts. I'm not cleared to go. I don't care what workers' comp doctor said. He gets paid to say that I'm better. I'm not better. There's shit still very wrong with me. There's shit still wrong with me today. A year later. God, I hate that fucking bitch. So he gives me off 4 weeks of work. Gives me off for 4 more weeks. 4 more weeks physical therapy. I turn in my doctor's note. Then HR tells me that they no longer accept that form of doctor's note because, so the way my doctor's note is set up, it says, "Please check here if Jonathan Radcliffe is totally disabled." There's a check there. Then there's a box under it says, "or if partially disabled," and then lists what he can't do. My doctor checked the totally disabled box. That should cover everything. It says totally disabled, cannot return to work until after evaluation on X date, whatever the date was. But then the box under that wasn't checked that said, "or if partially disabled, these are his limits." She couldn't understand that he didn't need to write the list of limits because he had checked that I'm fully totally disabled. Fully totally disabled means I can't do shit. I can't do shit about shit. I'm lucky if I can wipe my own ass. So, she refuses to accept that note. She says I have to come in. I have to come in. So, I show up and I try to explain it to her in person. I'm like, okay, I'm going to break this letter down. And we're going to stand here and we're going to break this letter down together. That way you can understand what these words on this paper mean. She still don't fucking understand. She didn't understand it. So she wanted me to go to my doctor and get a list of stuff that I can't do. And I just told her, I'm like, look, we wouldn't be, and she was telling me how stressful this is for her and management and everyone else. I'm like, well, it's stressful for you guys? It's stressful for you guys. Okay, yeah, you're stressed because you can't read a fucking piece of paper properly? And she goes, well, remember, we wouldn't be in this predicament if you had did your job safely. And she even did the fucking head bob, and I'm like, I was like, no, I was doing the job safely. The tech that you sent out to help me put me in the unsafe predicament didn't do his job safely, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm hurt, and that's why I'm pissed off, and that's why I fucking hate this place. I didn't say that last part, but all the other stuff I did say. And she was like, well, you're your own person, you could have made the safe call, and ultimately this is still your fault. So, I looked her in the eyes, I'm like, I'm going to leave before I say something that'll get me fired. Because at that, oh my god, at that point I wanted to go off. By the way, my dad no longer works for the company. After the way they were treating me, he got back into the union. So the day they wanted to suspend me, back when the accident first happened, my dad actually called a union rep, and they're like, "Yeah, we got a position open up at this location." It was literally a job that's like 10 minutes away from the shop where we were working. So my dad, "Yeah, cool, set it up." And I believe it took like a week or two for everything to get finalized, but he had a trailer there picking up his toolbox and everything. And when he quit, they all were crying, telling him it would take like 3 to 5 people to replace just what he did. And guess what? It took 5 people to replace what my dad would do at that company, and they're still barely getting the shit done right. So that's fucking karma for them. Where was I? Oh yeah, doctor's note. So I leave work, and she goes, "Well, will we see you in tomorrow?" I said, "No, my doctor's note excludes me for 4 more weeks." So she goes, "You don't show up, I'm writing up as a no call, no show." I was like, "No, you can't. I have a doctor's note. You can't write that up." And I left because I was about to cuss her the fuck out. Tell her exactly how I feel. Tell her I don't give a fuck that she's pregnant, and that it's probably her pregnancy hormones that are making her such a fucking totalitarian bitch. It's a hard word to say. I didn't want to say that to her face, though, so I said it behind her back. Because she talked about me behind my back. So fuck her. So yeah. Then December 16th hits. I get an email. Oh, and she was trying to get me to sign FMLA paperwork that would ultimately null and void everything for workers' comp. That would say, yeah, I know I'm hurt, and I'm taking responsibility for it all. No, fuck no. Y'all drop the truck on me. You take responsibility for it. So she emails me on the 16th of December of 2019, and she goes, "We have held your position longer than I think it was like 13 legally required FMLA weeks," or whatever the fucking thing is. Pretty much she said she held my position longer than FMLA requires, even though I didn't sign up for FMLA paperwork or sign any paperwork stating that, or anything of the such. And that they can no longer hold my position, but I am more than welcome to apply when I am 100% again. And they will accept me back, because I am more than welcome to. Get your fucking head out of your ass, you bitch. I'm not going back to that fucking company. Fuck you people. So, talked to my attorney. He goes, "Well, unfortunately, we can't go after them for firing you." And here's the issue. When I wanted to go after them, like when I wanted to sue them, it wasn't for firing me. I don't care that they fired me. I wanted to be fired when they wrote me up over a Facebook post where I made a meme, because I made a meme quoting a show, the Parks and Rec meme. I don't know what I'm doing at this point. I'm too afraid to ask. I was sent to another job that I wasn't trained to do. Never touched this machine a day in my life. This, that, and the other. We don't even have them in the shop for me to practice on. So I took a picture with it, and I put that caption, and I just thought it was a funny joke. And then I get pulled in, and I get written up for it. Like a couple months before all this shit went down. I wanted them to fire me then. I could not care less about that place. So yeah, now December 16th, I get fired. We'll let go, whatever the fucking terminology is. So yeah, it wasn't the fact that I wanted to sue them for firing me. I wanted to go after them for putting me in that situation to begin with, for not training me well enough to do a job, and then sending me to the job when I openly expressed that I am not trained and not fit to do this job. And I was told to do it anyway. And then to have the audacity to tell people that the gentleman who dropped the forklift on me wasn't even on the job site to begin with. Meanwhile, when he was supposed to serve his week suspension, he served a 2-day suspension He served a 2-day suspension because the service writers at that company are too fucking stupid to be like, oh, we don't have enough workers for all this work that we're doing, for all this work that we're selling. And they can't keep workers because workers are quitting because they see how the place is being run, and I don't blame them. So, the gentleman who dropped the forklift on me, he had a 2-day suspension. He was right back at work, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, doing his shit, you know? Still dropping trucks, whatnot. So, yeah, then I find out through people that work there, that I still talk to, that, yeah, we didn't even know he was on site. We were told you did it, you lifted it up and dropped it on yourself. This, that, and the other. So, now, that is defamation of character. Defamation of character. They lied on the OSHA report. I'm pretty sure I can get them for fucking how badly they treated me when I went back, treating me like shit, pretty much giving me the runaround and blacklisting me. What fucks me up too? Okay, what fucks me up? The place throws a winter gala. It is their holiday party, Christmas party, holiday party, whatever you want to call it. I was still employed in December. I wasn't invited at all to the gala, to the holiday gala, which sorry about that. Let's just get on to my life after the company, after the accident, after everything. So, as of right now, I'm still waiting to see what's up with my right knee as far as the tear goes on my patellar tendon. I've just gotten a steroid injection in my back. My spine straightened out, so that's good. It just became muscle pain at that point, which was very painful. It would take me an hour and a half to do the damn dishes because I would have the same thing. I couldn't be bent down too long and on, bending, twisting, all that shit. All that would hurt. So I'm trying to wrap this up because I don't want to make it too much of a video. I just want to tell the whole story and then give an update. So as far as it goes, a year after my injury, my back is doing much better thanks to the steroid injections. After almost coming up on almost a year of full physical therapy, that wasn't working. It's good to have some relief finally. Mentally, I'm just, like I said, today's tough. It was tough when I realized that I'm coming up on the 1 year. I still have nightmares of the accident. It still gets triggered. Like if I'm at the store and I see, it's literally if I'm at the store and I see a fucking forklift, I get nervous. I get anxious. Like I know it's not just gonna jump at me or anything, but it's it sucks. If I'm walking through the store and I see something up on a tall shelf that could fall and do like hurt me, I get real nervous. I just try to avoid the area. If I just talking about it all just throws me back. You like my aquarium? It's on my TV. I want a big aquarium someday. But yeah, if I even see someone get crushed on fucking TV, it throws me back. So it's still difficult. Luckily, I did. Oh yeah, so back in March of 2020, to add on to the boatload of annoying that 2020 is, workers' comp cut all my benefits. So I was fighting with them for a bit to get everything back. I was still doing physical therapy and all. Luckily, thankfully, I was able to do something because the physical therapy place was like, look, we know you're hurt. We know workers' comp is eventually going to come back around. We'll still let you do stuff here. So that was good that I was still able to get all of that done. When I finally did get the workers' comp hearing, Of course, it was during COVID and all, so that was a weird experience. It was me, the commissioner, my attorney, and then workers' comp's attorney, and then the lady that types in what all is said. And I was sitting there in pain. I was sitting in the chair, and my back was killing me. My knee was in pain and all, and I looked miserable. And the commissioner even stopped the hearing to be like, "Mr. Ratcliffe, are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm in extreme amounts of pain right now." So after everything was said and all, she said we'd get her ruling in like the next 3-4 days in the mail. Um, I got a ruling and it found everything in my favor. Workers' comp then had to approve everything that we had requested. Workers' comp then could no longer challenge me on if I'm still injured or not, and they had to take care of me until I'm better. And then if these injuries flare up again and it can be linked back to the accident, they still have to take care of me. So that's a win. I'm glad that happened. I'll straight up give you a shout out right now, Schmerling. Thank you. But then they got mental evaluation approved too. So I'm currently doing phone calls for that. I've had like 2 meetings with him, but he says he thinks he can help me out. I have 15 I need to schedule. So, and then I've made some pretty good friends lately. Some good company, people that it makes it easier having people that genuinely care and not just care when it's like not they don't care. They don't only care when you're posting a cry for help on like Facebook or something. Like they're the ones that would genuinely check up on you just throughout the week, and I love them. Thank you guys. If you're watching this, you know who you are. Um, but yeah, so as far as a year later goes, I'm still waiting to see what's up with my knee. My knee still hurts but we'll find out where we stand with that. My back, honestly, my back kind of hurts today. Sitting in this chair ain't really comfortable. I slept kind of weird. But it's the typical pain that came from the accident. So yeah, my back is hurting. I'll probably take some ibuprofen, see if that'll do it. Um, I've started to try to do things to make myself feel a bit better about myself, because before the accident, I was working out, I was kickboxing, I was killing shit, doing great. Then after the accident, obviously, what else are you gonna do when you're sitting home all day with nothing to do? You're bedridden besides fucking just stuff your face. And I hate the fact that I did that. I hate that that was my out. Just copious amounts of Ben and Jerry's ice cream and fast food. So I've put on a large portion of the weight. Like I put on all the weight I lost and then some. So that sucks. I'll probably be making a video when I can finally, get money to get to the store and buy healthier meals and all, and actually jumpstart getting back to eating better, at least, because I can't do much when it comes to working out. So the best I can do is try to eat better. So yeah, there's that. And I know I could take the weight off. I've done it before. I could do it again. I've bought myself a few outfits, a few nice things and all, just to make me feel a little bit better about myself, because I don't care what anyone says, money buys happiness. It bought this TV, I'm happy. It bought the Switch that I have behind me, I'm happy. It bought me a guitar, I'm happy. It bought me nice clothes, I'm happy. It bought me expensive jewelry, I'm happy. It bought me expensive watches, I'm happy. Money buys happiness. Don't fucking let people tell you otherwise. But yeah, so yeah, as far as all that goes, I saw my moments where, I shut down and all. I mean, obviously it still sucks what I'm going through. I can't do really much of anything. When I helped a couple friends move, all I could really do was provide a truck, and I know they are more than grateful for even that alone, but still, I just wish I could have actually physically helped better. Excuse me. So yeah, I've also just been trying to find things to pass time, things that I can do that won't fucking hurt me. Um, so I've been trying to do watercolor painting. That had my attention for like 2 weeks, and then I stopped. I did a really good, for my first ever watercolor painting. I did a really good portrait of one of my friends. She's a cosplayer, and it was one of her original characters, I believe it was. And I painted it, and it turned out amazingly. And then I painted a jellyfish, and it just looks like I just threw paint on paper. So I don't know what the fuck to do. um, but yeah, so also, for anyone complaining about COVID and being shut down and being locked in, I don't want to hear jack diddly shit. Because technically, I've been on lockdown for almost a year now. Because I couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything. I was bedridden. I was on bed rest. I couldn't do shit. I couldn't do shit about shit. So yeah, suck it up. Wear your mask. Do whatever. So yeah, I think that's about it for everything. I believe in all this is about an hour long. So if you were still here, if you just had this on in the background while you listened to me just talk, I very much appreciate you. I'm going to try to make something of all these of this channel. I know my last video I posted was probably me going to the state park 2 years ago, or a year before, whenever it was before the accident. So yeah, mentally and all, I'm still struggling. Physically, I'm still struggling, but I am getting better, so that's a good sign. And for my mama, who's watching this, because I know you're gonna watch it, I'm looking at you right through the fucking lens. Don't take everything I post seriously. Like, I know I post stuff about being depressed and all, and at times, yeah, it's what it is. It's a family too, not just mama, family and friends and anyone who cares. For anyone that I'm talking to still right now that sees anything I post. Yes, I know some of my posts are frightening. Just know I will never, I promise I will never do anything to hurt myself. I know that the options that I would consider are a permanent end to a not so permanent situation. You know? So I just wanted to end it there. End it off on somewhat of a positive note. Love you all. Thank you if you're still here an hour later hearing me fucking rant. I love you. Thank you so much. And be sure to, I don't know, like, subscribe, share the video, do whatever. I can't control what you do. But yeah. I'm going to say it again. Love you guys, because I'm never going to stop telling people I love them. So yeah, just share the video, like it, subscribe, tell your friends. Hopefully going to be able to bring better content here as I progress with my injuries and my getting better. Hopefully I'll be able to start posting some like rehab videos once I figure out what I can do. Okay? Once again, broken record. Love you guys. Bye.